Oh, hello! Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do an animal that everyone is familiar with. I want to do a seahorse, and I will show you how to do that from start to finish. It's a very interesting animal, and I think you'll really enjoy doing this. I'll show you the types of clay that we will be using. There's an oil-based clay such as this, which never hardens. This is the one I used to use all the time as a kid. Use it over and over again, and when you get bored with it, just make something else. Another type of clay which can be bought in the art stores is air hardening clay, which will harden like in a couple hours or overnight, and then you can paint it. You'll have your permanent sculpture. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven at about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can drill it, sand it. You make a tremendous amount of detail, and that's why I really like it. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. We're going to be using this size right here. This is what we're going to use for the rock base. And then for the body, we'll be using this size ball of clay here. And then we also do have a piece of wire that we'll be using, which will be cut about this length. This will enable the seahorse to stand up. So I'll first show you how to do the base. We're going to take this piece of clay here, and we're going to just going to work it. See, I'm just kind of pushing it like that. See how? And just like that. And what I want to do is now I want to push this down to the ground like this, or the table, and just push. Just like that. That way, because it's going to make a nice base so we can enable the seahorse to look like he's standing up, or at least swimming upright. And the next thing that I want to do is get a piece of tin foil, which can be bought like in the supermarket or CVS or one of those places, and you crinkle it up. And then what you do is you take and you just go like this. It'll give it a nice texture for a rock. And you go all the way around. See, I'm working that from all sides. Just like that. And we'll lift this up. It kind of sticks to the table. But see how we did that? See that beautiful texture that we created using the tin foil? And that's, we'll put this down for the time being, and I'll show you how to make the body. What we're going to be doing is, I'll show you in this model here, we're going to be trying to make the head with the snout or the mouth. We'll do the body here, and then we'll do the tail, which kind of curves down here. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take this ball of clay right here. We're going to take and squeeze it in our hands like this. And what I want to do is take this. See, I'm squeezing that? This is going to be the bottom of the tail that curves. So see how I'm pinching that from both sides to kind of almost bring it to a point. And just we'll keep working it like that. See how I'm doing that? And then I want to take and squeeze that a little more like that to give it the shape that we want. And now what I want to proceed to do is work on the head. See, so I'm going around like that. So let's see how I'm doing that. And then what I'd like to do, we'll just keep working it. And we're going to make the nose or the mouth. So you're going to see I'm doing that. Squeeze it this way. Squeeze it that way. Squeeze it that way. Just keep squeezing it like that. And then what I want to do is take my thumb and kind of push into it like this. See how I'm doing that? And see that shape So we'll just keep working that like that. And I'm going to just keep working the clay. Like that. Just like that. See how that looks? See how that's all starting to take shape? Just going to lengthen that out a little bit more. I just, so we're trying to, see I'm doing that, take my thumb, that, and then what we want to do is I want to see how much more I have to, so it looks like I need to make the body a little longer. So I'll just keep squeezing that. That. And then I'll try to create like this, almost like a spine back there. See how we're doing that? See what I did with that? And then the front, we'll do the same thing. We'll kind of, I'll just squeeze that together a little bit. Just like that. And now, we'll curve that tail a little bit. See how we're doing that? Just like that. I just want to pinch this in the front. Smooth that over a little bit. I'm going to try to smooth, you can take your fingers and kind of go along the edge like that to smooth it. Just keep going like this. And try to smooth it nicely. See how we got that nice shape? See how it's starting to really take shape? The next thing that I want to do is, he almost has like a little crown on his head, and I'll show you. This little crown here, and then we have like a little sail on his back right here, and we'll create those two pieces. What I'm going to use is the additive technique, and we're going to add those to the seahorse. So we're going to get some clay here from this piece here. We'll just take a little piece, probably about this size right here, and I want to create that little crown. I want to make sure I make it about the right size. So what I'm doing is flattening this out like that, and we're kind of creating a shape like this. See, that might be a little too big, so what I'm going to do is I'll take some of the clay away now. See this little piece here? I'll just pinch it and take that away. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add this to the back of the head like that. See that? We're just going to work it in like this with our fingers. You go from the other side also. See how I'm doing that? See how we did that? And then we're going to take another piece of clay. I'll show you roughly the size that we want on this. We're going to do a little sail on the back, so I'm going to take I'll share the size, but we can roll it into a ball like this. See how we go like that? See how I'm doing that in between my hands? Now I'm going to take this piece of clay and I'm going to flatten it out, just like we did for the crown. So you take this, proceed to flatten it out like that. And then we're going to try to square off the shape a little bit. Don't worry about the proportions if they're a little off. That's the most important thing, is just to kind of get the shape and of that little sail in the back. And as you can see here, I made that like that. We can attach that to the back right here. And we do the same thing we did with the crown. See how I take that and just pinch the clay together like that. We're going to do that here, and then we turn around and go from the other side and do the exact same thing, because we want to make sure it's securely attached. Just like that. And see, I'm pinching that like that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to take this wire now, and I want to insert it into the base. So what I'm going to do is take down near the end here, see how take and bend that like that. But I also want to take this and almost create like a U-like shape like this. Wrap it around my finger like that. See how I did that? See, that's the shape that you want. And what we want to do is we want to put that into this piece right here. We want to have it in the center. So I'm going to take and, see, I'm going to push that in there. And then what we can do is I can take one of these sculpting tools here, and this can help me push it in even further. So just take and push that in. I'm going to put this on the table, and now we'll try to work that in. See how I'm pushing that in? Now what we want to do is take the additive technique again, and we're going to take and fill that in. So I'm going to take clay now, some of this clay here, and we're going to fill that in so you can't see the wire. I know you're saying that we're wrecking some of the work that we did before, but we'll fix that. It'll be a very easy fix. See how I'm putting that in? Just like that. And then what we can do, the beauty about the clay here is until it's actually fired in the oven, you can still change and manipulate things. So I'm going to take and tamp this area again, like this. Go all the way around. And that's we'll do for the nice base. So now what I want to do is we want to attach both the seahorse to the wire and the base. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to insert the wire right here. And you push it right up through the center. I'm going to put it down on the table. And we'll push it down like that. And what ended up happening here is it did come through the other side. Here, see this? So I'm just going to push it back into the seahorse. And now I'm going to take some clay here, and I'm going to cover that over. So and smooth that out, so you'll never know that the wire did poke through like that. Just work that, smooth it out, and as you can see now, that I'll just add a little more clay. I'll show you, I'll turn that. Just want to make sure that that looks good. I'm going to smooth that out with my fingers, like that. See how I'm doing that? Just take and smooth that out. And we're in pretty decent shape with that, huh? So the next thing that we want to do is I want to get a toothpick. Got a few of them over here. I like these double-sided toothpicks. They got the points at both ends. You just have to be careful when you're using them. We're going to take and make the eyes. So I'm going to take, I want to make sure I have it in the right spot. I'm going to put it in like that, and then rotate it. See that? Put that in and rotate it like that. And then I want to put it in approximately the same size, so I'm just going to measure, look this way. I want to make sure it's approximately the same location on the other side. See that? Then we go like that. And see how nice that looks? And the next thing that we want to do is we want to make lines on the sail. So I'm going to take this here and go like this. I'm going to put my thumb behind it. We're going to make lines like this. See how we're doing that? Very simple, very basic. Then I think I'll make one more line in the center here. And then we'll proceed to do that on the other side. So we'll go see how we're making those lines? And then the next thing that we want to do is we want to make them on the crown. So we're going to go up here, and I'm going to take and put them like right here. And we'll proceed to do that on the other side. So we're going to do that. That gives it a really nice effect. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create some texture on the body. So what we're going to do here is, see this toothpick here? I'm going to take this, and I'll show you. We're going to go like this. Just like that. See how we'll give it some nice texture. Just push the toothpick in like that. Just like that. And you're going to go down the body, right to the tail. Just like that. See how I'm doing that? Doesn't take long to do it, but it gives a really nice effect. And we'll proceed to do the same thing up here. Go like that. because I want to give it some really good texture. Just like that. Take the toothpick. Just like that. And then we're going to proceed to do the same thing here. See how we're doing that? Just like that. And we also want to make sure we do that all the way down the tail. So see how I'm doing the tail down here? You want to do that all the way down to the very bottom of the tail, right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to proceed to make those marks on both sides, and then it will be ready for firing. And now that we've fired the seahorse in the oven, it is now ready for painting. I will show you the types of paints that we will use. These are acrylic paints, which can be bought at any art store. There's about 18 in this package. And I'll show you the colors that we'll be using tonight. We have 3 colors that we will be using. We will be using brown. We will be using gray. And then we'll be using black. The size brushes that we'll be using tonight are this size brush here. It's a nice wide brush, as you can see. We'll be using this size brush here for the eyes. It's got a nice fine tip. We can use this nice wide brush for the base. I like this that way. We'll get done faster. So now we will proceed to do the eyes. We'll take and see the eye right here. We'll take and put this right in the eye. Just like that. And now proceed to do the other side. See that? We're going to put that right in the eye. Rotate it around nicely. Just like that. And then the next thing that we want to do, the brown for the color of the seahorse. So I'll show you. For the seahorse, we're going to go like this. See this? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just like that. Just like that, back and forth. And then we'll do the mouth area. See how we're doing that? Back and forth to the front. See how we're doing the top part there? So basically, you just want to paint the entire seahorse in this manner. I won't show you the entire thing, but you get the idea now. See how we're doing that? And just do a little bit more. Just keep going like that. And the next thing I'll show you how to paint is the base. And we can take, see this with the base now? Just back and forth. Back and forth. Just like that. Back and forth, back and forth. And when you try to get near the seahorse, you just go ever so slightly. That way you don't paint the seahorse itself. But see how nice that's coming out? And then, we'll do a little bit more there. Just like that. It's coming along really nicely. So I will show you what the final seahorse should look like once it's been painted. Let's move these paints out of the way. The final version of the seahorse should look like this. See how we painted all of the entire body this brown color? And then we painted the eyes black right there. I'll turn it around so you can see the other side. The other eye was black. And then the base, which is gray down here, we painted that all the nice gray color. This looked like a rock at the bottom of the ocean. So that's what your final version should look like. I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay tonight, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.